Hey, friends. It is your girl, Amy Plano, the reimbursement dietitian, here to simplify the reimbursement process for all registered dietitians looking to accept insurance in your practice. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the frequently asked questions that I see is, how do you bill insurance for couples? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts, some of my feedback, some of the way we do it in my practice. Then I want you guys to take what I say and what I do, and I want you to make it work for your practice because we have different types of practices and we serve different types of people. So, number one, decide if servicing couples together is something you want to do. Remember, this is your practice. You guys get to make up all the rules. And so if you think it's best to have individuals see you first one-on-one, and then maybe follow up as couples together during the session, or maybe vice versa. Or maybe you don't want to see couples at all. You want to make sure that everybody has their own visits. What I can tell you from my experience of doing this is that in my practice, when we see couples, often we will do the initial visit together, and then depending upon their schedules, we may do the follow-ups together or separate. That's just what we do in my practice. But I want to be very clear that you guys get to define the rules. So what we make sure that we do in my practice is that we set aside enough time for couples. Usually we block off 90 minutes in our schedule. You want to have a hard stop if you are doing visits together, because you want to make sure that you could go on and on and on. And when you have two people talking about their food, their dietary habits, their exercise, it can be a really long visit. So make sure there is a hard stop in there, probably no more than 90 minutes. Number two, want to make sure that you have everybody's insurance and information on file. So that means if you're seeing couples and you're doing online scheduling, you may want to have a couples button on, the ability to schedule, but then you also need to follow up because it's probably only going to create one profile based on the information, right? So you're going to need two profiles in your EMRs or your clearinghouse if you're using something like Office Ally, because you're going to need to bill for each visit independently. Okay. Number three, we are going to bill with the respective CPT code 97802 or 97803. This type of counseling in this type of setting, especially if it's a one-on-one, we're going to go deep with MNT. So using a group code is not necessarily appropriate or going to be cost effective in this time. We are really providing an initial visit in most of these scenarios. So you're going to use the respective code of 97802 for an initial visit. And then you are going to estimate to the best of your ability the amount of time that you spent counseling each client during the session. A lot of times you might have a little bit of counseling where they're both talking. A lot of times in our sessions, we'll say, who wants to go first? And then you kind of will pull up that person's assessment and kind of review their meds, all of the things with that one client. And then you may switch directly once you finish counseling that client to the other client in the couple. And then you may come together at the end because maybe one member of the couple may be doing all the grocery shopping or the cooking, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to bill for 97802 or 97803 respective of the type of visit that you're covering. And then you're going to estimate the amount of time to the very best of your ability using the rule of 8 in terms of rounding up for units. So you want to make sure that you are providing killer value. And if you feel like in this combination setting of counseling two people instead of one, it's just not working for you, or you feel overwhelmed, you guys get to decide on the rules for your practice. So like I said, in my practice, we roll with couples and then we do based on kind of how they did in that initial session, what will the follow-up sessions look like? But those are kind of the basics. Like I said, the main question that I see most registered dietitians ask is, should I use 97804 in this particular situation? Well, generally speaking, it does not best describe the situation in which you are providing MNT. A lot of times these are deeper assessments, and you're going to dive pretty deep, and you're going to be doing it with two separate people during the counseling session. So just some words of wisdom. Like I said, I want you guys to do what feels best for your practice. So if you don't want to take couples, or this isn't applicable because you won't be doing couples, then you don't have to worry about this. But hopefully this was helpful. I am Amy Plano. I am the reimbursement dietitian. I have a YouTube channel. I have tons of resources. So if you are stuck and need support, go check out my channel. Everything's generally under Amy Plano, the reimbursement dietitian, or reimbursement dietitian on the web. reimbursement underscore dietitian on Instagram. So hopefully this helps. As always, drop your comments below, share this video who somebody you think is struggling with this. And most of all, let's just spread the love and support insurance-based dietitians.